Okay, here with Happy Chappy, and this is accepting our own truths. So, as I've had to do it myself, I thought I'd give it some attention. Um, as it's not something that's easy done at times, because of shame that we feel within ourselves. And not everything that we do in life is going to be acceptable to others. So it surely won't be acceptable to ourselves when we reflect back at it. And something I like to do every day is at the end of my day is reflect on that day and how it went and things that I've done. And not always is it done to the proper manner that it could be. It could always be improved. No matter what, it could always be improved. And that's my goal, to improve on it, whatever it may be. And sometimes when we are wrong in what we've said or how we've acted, we don't want to accept that. Or should I say, there's a crossing over point. So there is. Because that's not who I am now. There was a time when I didn't want to accept that, when it hurt in here, because I felt that I was wrong. And nobody wants to be wrong. I certainly didn't want to be. But what I found in accepting my wrongs, it became so much easier. It became a part of who I am. And when I was wrong in something, or someone had something to say about how I was wrong, I could look at it to understand their point of view, and I would go over it. And if I was wrong, then I would accept I was wrong without it actually hurting inside. And as I say, that took time. It was like a growing process. It wasn't like today you've little muscles and tomorrow they'll be big. It took time to grow that muscle. And every day that I would go for and rehearse everything that I did went through that day, if I found that there was something that was wrong in what I'd done, and bringing back to a place of where I was and where I didn't want to accept it, I would give out to myself and say own up to it. I'd be saying this in my head. I'd have a wee man here and another wee man here. And there'd be always that wee man that was originally there that was making me avoid facing up to myself. But I had to create another version to more or less say, well, fuck you. We're going to clean up this mess. And took it on. And did stand up to that older version. And accepted the wrongs, even though they hurt. And realizing why they hurt, because I would look bad for being wrong, is how I viewed it. But yet there was nobody else around me to judge me. It was only I who was judging myself. Therefore, I was wrong to be judging myself. If I was to judge myself in such a way and to hide it from myself, then I was surely wrong. So I had to create that version of me that was going to question who I was and how I was acting and what I was saying, what I was doing. Was it right? Was it wrong? Or do you just think that you can play this person and ignore the wrongs that they do? But I couldn't stand being that person. There was a version of that person that was good, but there was a version of that person that was negative in all that they'd seen and all that they'd done, and is scared of owning up to it. But when I could create a version that was going to confront that, it got even harder. It was a battle between two forces within me, where one wanted to hide and the other wanted to confront and search and find that person and pull them out and ask what was going on. Why are you hiding from what you've done? If you didn't do these things, then you wouldn't have to hide away. If you could confront them, confront yourself, and be honest and truthful, then you've no reason to hide. So I would be that, and I would confront that. And there'd be times I'd be in conversations with people and I would say things, and I would instantly correct myself in front of a person with no shame whatsoever, because I've got that understanding that we aren't always right. And sometimes things come out of our mouth that we don't even mean to say. It's just in flow through of all that we've picked up from around us. But it doesn't mean that that's how we truly feel in that time. Because when we reflect back and think about it, it changes. And it's always changing. And with me, even if it's good, it'll still always be changing, but I always try to make it on a positive note. If it's not going to be something that comes out of here that's positive, then it shouldn't be mentioned. Or I'm given that negative attention where it doesn't need attention. It's had plenty of attention in the past, it doesn't need it now for sure, nor in the future. So I'll always question who I am, whether it be in front of another or not, as it's unimportant what someone else is going to think or judge me over and how I'm viewing myself. That's for me to do. That's my business. That's who I am as the person that I am. Maybe in my way is just showing who I am, that it's unconcerning that you or another will judge me, because I've already done that within myself. You couldn't even come close to judging me how I've judged myself. You couldn't even think of the things that I've thought about myself that you could imagine. You couldn't even come close. Yet I suffered in that pain that I put myself in by not confronting myself. But yet when I came out to find that side of myself that was hiding away and confronted myself, as fearful as it was, I had courage within myself, not against outside forces, but all that's in here. Courage against who I am. It's like two sides of a coin battling who's gonna stand on top or who's gonna be at the bottom. And it's always like that. But I prefer to have that courage against myself to be truthful and honest, whether I'm right or wrong, and say it out and be that and show that in who I am, rather than hide away from the wrongs, holding responsibility for them and correcting them when they're out there, and when it's seen, or when someone brings it up or something. If I don't see it myself, then it's there to be corrected, which I'm willing to do. Where I'm not willing to hide away from things and not face them. Sometimes it's, well, maybe I believe it is the only way out into happiness, is facing yourself, confronting the wrongs. Because no one else will judge you as much as you judge yourself, whether you see it or you don't. And I know that through my own experience. But we are so harsh on ourselves. The things that we say and do to keep ourselves from being happy, we wouldn't say and do to about another, yet we do it about ourselves and prevent that happiness from within ourselves. Well, we assume that we were happy on the outside, floating about in this physical reality, while not seeing the unseen that's within us, and forgetting about what's important within us. Us, our true self, our true being. But yet we put the body in a picture in front of others and try to be the high and mighty, to be loved by everyone, while we go home and we judge ourselves, feeling unloved, because what people thought wasn't so much important as what we think about ourselves. And until we do correct ourselves and see how important we are and face our wrongs so we can be a better person, then we'll never feel that truly. We'll always be hiding with a mask on, showing people that we are someone that we're not. Or we could face who we are and be honest, and whatever we have to say, we say it. And if we feel that we were right in what we were saying, then we go with that, whether anyone likes it or not. And if we feel that we were wrong, to accept that and to question ourselves at all times. Is it right or is it wrong? Just the same way as you question another. Facing oneself can be hard, but as time goes on, it's like making a cup of tea or coffee. It just comes to you, and that pain doesn't be there anymore. It's just a part of, it's just something that's there, like anything. It doesn't become a part of an emotion or a feeling. It's just something there that needs looked at and to see if it's right or wrong. And you put it into that category or this category. And if it's in the wrong, you see what you have to do in there and move it over to the right. So the next time you can move on with greater confidence in facing such a situation, to have a better view on it and understanding in who you are and how others may be acceptable or unacceptable to it, whatever way the scene is. But it'll come down to you and how you put it and how you put yourself and how you place yourself in behind that mask, or being true to yourself. Is it something that you genuinely are feeling that you are speaking about it? Or are you just saying it to comfort other souls that's around you and what they feel, yet it's not your truth? Then you are breaking yourself apart for the comfort of others, for them to enjoy your experience and absorb your energy while you get deflated in who you are. So take off the mask, face the wrongs. No one's perfect, yet we are perfect. I like to think of it as we're imperfectly perfect, yet no one's perfect. Anyway, this is just my view and how I see it and how I deal with things and facing my wrongs. And maybe it's something that may help you if you feel that you've got some wrongs. Maybe you don't. I don't know. That'll be for you to judge. Only you can judge you. This is Happy Chappy. Love and peace.